And a very accurate bunch of players as well. Another player I'd like to highlight is Monster. For those of you that don't know Zero Tenacity, he is their AWPer heavy fragger alongside it. We saw him have a couple of slow starts though in the qualifiers, but he always eventually showed up when it was required. And now speak of the man, and he quite nearly misses out on his opportunity, does deal the fatal block damage, stays alive for a second frag as well, and can't quite connect for a third, but surely he's done his job now. Simki can come in, he's tagged down and nearly fragged in the meanwhile through connector, but there's only 2 VP members remaining. Make that all electronic, and he's encircled by Zero Tenacity. They'll claim first blood in this best of 3. So a lot of question marks in for the time being. The 2 players have been tagged. Time is dwindling away. 40 seconds left on the clock, and it's Nemanja, the man, the brains behind the operation, and often the brawn on top of it, is trying to rummage around the back and get some information. It's going to be Final Destination here, being pushed in onto the B side, and Simki this time has to try and elevate his team across, conquer the oncoming T's, and so far so good. Not looking good for VP. They're being cordoned off and just dissected from all of these weapons. SMG sprays in, leaving Jame all alone, and although he nails the shot, it's just the scout, and he will be sent packing.
No, that's fair, dude. Like, for me, it's always kind of been either the chewing gum or the banana. You know, those are the go-tos. You get the potassium, and you're like, oh, I'm full, I'm ready for CS. Or the chewing gum. That was like the Twists classic. You'd always be chewing. Here we go. Chow down, though. Fame on contact there. Takes a bite out of Chofo and removes him. So you don't really work out too well on your first buy, going for the A-main extremity push. You do get away with a cheeky maneuver, at least for the meantime. Nemanja, though, eventually found by Jame through the smoke on the clap back. Now they're forcing the issue, Vince. They're going to try the same situation back at B main. Norbert's lurking for it.
He's laid in wait, but I feel like he's going to get peeked at some stage. It's AVN that goes in first. Does Norbert realize the second player is here? He just caught a glimpse and finishes them both off. And that should be the round to follow suit. The bomb's still back at spawn. But they've got time. And they've got the man advantage, well, a 3-man advantage. Monster probably just wants to try and hold on to this up. Now the bomb has been picked up.
Hold on to the scope. And hope that you can at least walk your way into the next one without losing it. Testing it down though. Brooke reads it. Here's the audio cue, and at least we'll find a first. I make it a little bit more costly for VP, but the main focus for him, of course, at least is keeping the weapon in his hands and seeing if he can slip through the cracks. The round itself, though, at least going to go the way of Virtus.pro for now. So they get themselves on the board early. It's not going to take too long to warm up into things. Slightly over flicking on the response back. Wow. All right. Electronics got the close-up angle. Fun thing is, as well, I'm not going to lie, right? Usually when you see the double up setup come out on CT side, on most maps, Vince, you're thinking, oh, something's gone wrong. You've already pulled the panic cord. You're looking for a band-aid fix. With this team, they're pretty damn capable when they go for these double up setups, and they like running them far more commonly. You'll see those investments where they'll want to pull out 2 orbs and have something in mind for it. 9 times out of 10 as well, you're going to see Monster deliver with it. Why it's so lucrative if he can keep the weapon in his hands over the course of this matchup. Of course, forced to spend the extra cash here. Nemanja unfortunately goes down versus Jame. So that's the first pick back in favor of T's. Again, doing good on the opening duels. Looked like Fame was set up to potentially get himself 2 as well. Round towards the A site. Monster could be walking into the tripwire. Down by Dark. Chofo actually finds Electronic on the walk-in through mid. So 3 versus 3, Vince, with 34 seconds left on the clock.
Surprises me Electronic didn't check that angle. The smoke was down for quite some time. Totally caught with his pants down. No idea what was coming up. Monster knows at least 1 player on the corner, but he's completely alone, bereft of any help. Now the cavalry's starting to come in, but he misses 2 shots and he gets punished for it. And to make matters worse, his partner in crime goes down with him, entombed on Anubis. Virtus.pro will be picking up their second round. And maybe this time Simki can do what Monster was unable to, and that's save the weapon.
That grunt now being audible as well, following the more recent updates. Do you get the execute off the back of it? Throw in towards the bomb site. Choffo on the off angle drops the bomb. He's got Brute Monster playing directly behind him as well. Throwing off the angles, Vince, but they line up on the swing. Oh dear. James punishes back. The orb strikes through the both of them like the spear of Virtus.pro, but with no time left on the clock. After finding that frag, that's the round gone.
Oh, that must have been a millisecond off being planted as well. They just denied him in the nick of time. Because even though he would have died, Flip would have then been activated in a 1-on-2.
Absolutely love it. But I always love that one. Nice little pre-nades. Close towards mid. Smacks you in the lips. Ooh. Dimkey, talking of lip removal, finds Flip on the flick down towards Dark. Was that one of the few rounds in a while, Vince, we've seen them actually being able to get the opening pick off any of these early engagements without either an instantaneous trade back or VP taking control of the round. Minute on the clock then. James still alive and kicking. Pre-scope towards mid. Bomb on his back. Oh, we could see the push down towards Dark and Electronics crosshairs on point. Fame looking to support as well, and they take down the first peak of Simkey.
Wrap around from Choffo though, but it's a 1-for-1 and Fame pivots round and gets AVN. Oh, shades of Rez from last night against Amcal. They'll be hoping it finishes much better from VP's perspective though, but it's down into a 2-on-2. 30 seconds left on the clock, and VP starting to explode out onto the site. They'll be rushing the bomb plant down, needs the kill, and Norbert will deliver. Bodyguarding his IGL, and puts Brute Monster into an awkward position. Needs to try and wrap around in the temple. He does have a kit, but just the one flash. It's going to be so hard for him to burst out of this position.
Going to hit him with a brute force. Time's going to be a real problem as well. Basically the third man on the server for him. He's gambling to clear down towards Dark first. Time ticks on by. Opportunity to go for the round is expiring. With it, grabs the AK as that's the only prize he can take from this round. Has to give up the overall spot itself. That's going to be a fourth now for Virtus.pro.
And another part of that, Jackie, I mean, you nailed it. They were so quick to use their timeouts. They always were coming back from massive deficits as well. If you remember the Rest Masters, the qualifier, it felt like we had about 5 to 10 comebacks on every single map, and Zero Tenacity were leading the charge. They were kind of against Saw. They came back. Now Nemanja, while fully flashed though, there will be no comeback for him. He's gonna have to wait for the next round. Flashed out, nailed by Electronic, but Brute Monster at least gets the avenging kill before he pulls the plug. But this is a team that will fight for every single round. Even at vast deficits, they can still come back, take it to OT and win. We've seen this time after time. The DMS finals they played, where they beat them 2-0, they were often behind for large chunks of both of those maps.
Ooh, they always come back. And Simkey, like Lazarus here, resurrecting the round once again with the prediction shot through the smoke. Absolutely domes him. Dead in the water. Sleeping with the fishes now. And 30 seconds left on this one. James post up towards mid aggressively. You've got a bit of backup as well with the bomb. That can drop down, head through Dark, and make a last-minute play out on towards the B site. Simkey has the pop flash ready. As soon as he gets the audio on the peak up, AVM can swing off the back of it, and they're going to try and make their moves. Nice molly to force him off the angle. He takes the fight, but he's burning. Goes down to the Molotov. 8 seconds. Your pathway to win this round is just to deny the plant, but that can't be done. They'll get the bomb down. Choffo's now blocked off and restricted his vision. Going to make it awkward for the retake with Brute Monster firing off the warning, but there's no connection, Vince. They've sniffed them both out.
Yeah, it's going to have to be another save, isn't it? Especially when you have Nemanja around $2,000. They can drop, they can get another buy into the next round if they feel like it. And that is just classic vintage Virtus.pro. Slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, there was 5-10 seconds left. Yeah, sure, if one of those trades had gone in a different way, but their utility was so on point. You saw full flash, a snowstorm descending on multiple players as they just burnt alive. And Fame denies any potential save. Doubles up at the end. 6-4 the score.
Again, A-main's always been a predicament for this team. They haven't really had the confidence to go for the early aggression off the back of how many times VP have found these picks. Been the late lurks from Choffo that's worked out once or twice. Again, in the opening engagement, Fame makes it look easy with the AK.
elect not to go in for too much of an investment, and that 5-7 has worked out, and the bait and switch works even better. A sweeter remedy. Things falling apart at the seams. Flip, Fame both chiming in, leaving AVN all alone to try and get success for the first time, which will feel like forever. And Fame says no, shuts the door in his face. Another round goes the way of VP.
And have those rounds, we're like, yeah, we are actually shooting quite hard right now. Let's just keep going with it. Doesn't matter though, because at the end of the day, going to round 12 here, you've got a buy to play with. They need to pull out everything. Walk away with 7-5 half. It's still something to build with going into the next. VP, they're going to want to decimate him here, take an 8-4. Game going contact up through dark. Pre-scoped in. It's a freebie, Vince. Simki's entire body sticking around the angle. Grabs that one. Unleashes hell with a pre-nades as well. And he's drawing all the rotates. Hell, even his team might actually want to come back for this one and just brute force their way in. Even though the A bomb site now completely barren. They call for the backtrack off, faking with a noise, leading them to believe this was a hard commit on the site. Brook Monster takes a peek in, slays Jame, and now they're going to be delayed on the walk back towards A. It's given Chofo time to reset towards heaven.
Well-timed smoke's going to keep Fame at arm's reach. Interestingly as well, Jackie, looking at this, coming into this round, Zero Tenacity have more opening duels in their favor, even though they're down 7-4. They're getting a lot of opening picks and unable to do much with it. That could be a problem, especially when you are cartwheeled onto the T side of things, which will be coming up in just a few moments' time. But Brook Monster wings Flit, takes his elbow off. 30 seconds, and that Molotov is going to find its way again. Simki in a similar position a couple rounds ago. A fully flashed Brook Monster can't offer anything, and neither can Zero Tenacity. It's looking good for an 8-4 half, unless Kajofa can go huge with a 1-on-4.
Feels like it's far too much of a tall task for Choffa. A 1v4 to contend with, time ticking away, bomb 75% ticked already, no defuse kit in the back pocket, all the pressure in the world mounting on him, and it's about to pop when he goes for the peek. Blitz looking for the contact, set up for the swing round the corner. Everyone in the off angles, time's about to go, and Chofo realizes he's just got to do something here. Goes down to Electronic, 8-4 at the half, VP commanding in response. Can they keep it going? Find out after the break.
Is that their rifle rounds were rough. VP started rough when they lost the pistol. Subsequent 3-0 lead comes into play. Once the rifles were in the hand of VP, they were a level above Zero Tenacity. So I want to see what they have up their sleeve here on the T side. It's a completely different ball game, functions entirely differently, but we need to see players like Nemanja and Kajofa having more impact here if they want to try and take VP to the limit.
100%, bro. That's a big piece of this team. And like you say, it felt like they weren't as quick to the draw as we've seen them be previously. So let's see if they can turn this more into Fight Club on a round like this. Rapid fire Western maneuver from Norbert as he's spamming away like Jim West. Goes down in the end though. And it's Nemanja and Simki that remain. Flit with the flank, finds the backstab on the USP, and Nemanja is no more. Out to the round by Flit. And Electronic confirms it, taking the defuse. So a 9th there on the pistol. VP make quick work of them. 100%, dude. This is where it's got to start. You walk in a tightrope and you can fall off at any moment. Oh, all right. I mean, that's a tasty shot. That's what the Pimp Snake was talking about. A bit of action like that from Nemanja on the swing round towards mid. Dimkey with the clap back as well. Flip. He gets flipped out of the game. Jame does damage, but it's not going to be a killing blow. Just quells some of the HP down from Nemanja, bringing him to 34. Tons of time on the clock as well, Vince. They've given themselves a good leg up here into the 15th.
Yeah, this is about as good a start as they could really have asked for. But can they close it? Because I mentioned before about how many opening picks they got, how many entries they got in the first half that they just let slip. This is the kind of round where you cannot afford VP that opportunity. Jame is low, and his reputation will precede him. More of a passive, conservative style AWPer, doesn't want to get too aggressive. So Zero Tenacity now finding that the site is A, bereft of any CTs, they've pillaged it successfully, and they will get a 5th round as a reward. VP they can hold fire, get another solid buy into the next round. Yeah, I think a lot of people, when Electronic joined this roster, were incredibly excited for what this VP roster would be capable of. You know, some people talking that they were like a super team, they'd be a world beater, they'd be up there in like the top 3 kind of contention. And if we're being completely honest, it hasn't lived even close to that mark yet. So I don't know if time is going to be able to kind of course correct here, and we're going to see VP step to that next level or not. But if they want to, qualifying for top tier tournaments is the way to go about it. Beating teams like Zero Tenacity that are tricky, a little bit out of the orthodox. And speaking of which, Sinky bypassing that smoke early on, may get the drop, may get the frag here onto Flip, and the counter frag comes in from Electronic, but he takes a bit of damage in the return. So Simki doing a decent job, just thinning out the herd a little bit on VP, making him throw down utility a little bit earlier than I'd like to, and applying the pressure directly.
You're going to take that. I mean, this now puts you into an advantageous position. 4 players alive for ZT versus 4 players alive for the CT side of Virtus.pro. You're going to have the benefit to work with. Just play the numbers game. Overwhelm them on defense. And the gamble to go for the hit towards the B site might be the right move to make. There's no rotate yet. James set up paranoid about the walkout through mid, and they're calling for the rotate round to support on B, but Nemanja already strikes, and Electronic's batteries have been removed. Norbert goes down as well, and the bomb is getting the digits punched in. They're able to plant that one. And for Fame and James, you might just want to hold on to what you've got.
Yeah, we know that VP certainly not a frivolous team. In fact, there's been a fair few memes made about quite the opposite. So it's not a huge surprise to see them tap out of this one. It is the correct decision. And as you say, I'm pretty sure that Fame is laid around as you see one of those players just chilling as the bomb detonates, hoping that an AK blows his way. It didn't happen. But they can still feel confident about their 4-round lead that they still have. But we are seeing signs of life from Zero Tenacity. Nemanja, one of the players that we highlighted, needs to step up in the second half. So far,
get the grip back, reset. But yeah, bro, this is more sort of what I was expecting to see from this one, honestly. You get them on their T side, they flex their muscles a little bit. Goes to show there is still some fight left in this one. So let's dial it in. Round 18. 10-7. Orps out on parade for either team. Got James holding aggressive towards A main. Tasty fadeaway shot. Connects onto the angle. He falls back. He lays weight to Choffo and sets up for more of a push coming in. Didn't really have the close quarters combat for a quick trade, and Simki off outside of the smoke, giving up the initial space taken. Looks like Nemanja wants to try his luck through the smoke towards Dark. Timing's everything on it, Vince, and he'll find the kill on Flit.
And not for the first time. Simka's been doing a lot of work over on Con, and now it's Nemanja's time to shine. Molly in and out. Electronic on the pillar. Not showing his hand just yet. 55 seconds. Eventually, Zero Tenacity looking like they're going to start to rappel back over onto the B side of the map. Try and pivot into this foundational player. And VP may have bit down on this one. They've actually rotated James away from B back onto A again. This would effectively be a 2-on-4 if Zero Tenacity go for this one. They're actually starting to make moves through middle, and Norbert catches them.
Four versus 3. The power struggle for the 18th round, exchanging hands once again as Virtus.pro are back in control. Bomb on the back of Brute Monster. They all group up inside of Dark, but that Molotov, it's lighting up the potential of the round. They're going to burn it again. Chaining the Molotovs together, you've got no time to go for the actual execute onto the site, and the round's gone off the back of the double molly. Oh, mate. That's going to feel brutal to watch. That's pretty far.
32 kilometers.
I don't think Anubis is that big, Vince. They're going to know exactly where they are.
Jeez. And they're also the biggest land animal predator as well, by the way.
They are. They are indeed. Fun fact about them as well, bro. They're actually marine mammals. They're the only bear to be considered a marine mammal. Don't get it twisted. VP, good at swimming.
Right now they are up the Nile of Anubis. Electronic though in the meanwhile. Nemanja with an audacious peek gets punished for it. just when they needed to get a bit of stability, they're on the back foot immediately. It's gonna be a pop flash into the push through the smoke. It has connected on Fame, but follow-up damage not quite there, and now Fame puts that A4 to use. Him and Electronic cut through the remainder of Zero Tenacity. AVN gets one, but he's tagged down to 29, and they know exactly where both of these T's are.
You're getting bombarded with the HEs as well, stripping the health off them. AVN relies so heavily on his teammate in Brook Monster now picking up the pieces. Great use, at least, with a molly to buy time. That's going to block off the push through camera, and 3 of them are grouped up. Timing on the walk-up could be the awkward part. They flash him off, clear onto AVN. Flip found by the AWP of Brook. He even sees where the elevated peak is. Shut down another one as Fame's gone, and Brook Monster does it all. The clutching AWP superstar steps up for ZT. Oh, mate, it doesn't matter that they are polar bears on this one. You've just gone up against the big game hunter. The elephant rifle of Brook Monster, putting them to bed. But James wakes straight back up, strikes again. For all his heroics in the previous round, you're the first man to fall, and Nemanja follows suit as well on the walkout towards Electronic. VP did not appreciate what happened in the previous round. Now you're leading. Choffo at least spams through the smoke, back onto the cranium of Fame, and AVN holding the walkout on mid. Vince equalizes. We're back to a 3 versus 3 here.
Is Lightning going to strike twice? Well, Brook Monster can't do it, but he's going to be looking at his teammates. AVN with the peak, the timing. Snatches at the opportunity, though. And although the flash is up, I don't think he wants to go for this re-peak. He's worried about being pushed from mid at the same time as well. It's like he's got his head on the swivel, but still comes out ahead against Norbert, who's had a pretty good game so far. 15 kills to his name, but now suddenly Zero Tenacity, they take the lead. They're also on the brink of breaking the economy of VP. This round could be worth several rounds. ZT really pressuring the favorites now.
They're rocking the boat. Zero Tenacity, if they pick this one up, they're going to put themselves in a potential position to bring the game back. Split has the weight of the world on his shoulders. Needs to be the rock to defend the bomb site whilst James on the rotate. They slip up towards the site. No cover. He could deny the bomb plant. Good for one, but there's an instant trade. James on the AWP swings back, but Simki steals it. And Zero Tenacity chain 2 together.
James' frustration showing itself. And this is why I mentioned it before. The economy was hanging by a thread. It's now been broken. Zero Tenacity could just outright win this game in regulation if they continue to dissect and conquer VP, who are all clumped together, trying to push outside of A main as a 4-man unit. Flashbang is going to give the game away, and Kajoffa intelligently, diligently just pulls the plug. There's no need for him to stick around.
Hey, there's swagger on Choffo as well to go for the one tap on the run out. Man never even considered the spray. Attempts it here. Will drop, loses the AK. It's up to Nemanja to deny. Here's the awkward factor now. You're able to arm 2 of your players, both of them picking up the rifles. So Electronic and Fame. 2 VP players you would not want to have AKs in their hands on a round like this. They set themselves up to go together. Double drop, down through dark. It's the 2-player setup. James' head revealed through the smoke. Bait and switch on the swing down towards the canals. And Fame forced to save it. It's better than nothing, Vince. You'll carry the AK over. It's going to buffer out the economy somewhat and at least give you a better rifle to work with going into the next. Still got the offensive utility as well. Flashbang and the HE to clear the close angle if necessary. Minute on the clock. Contact walk up through mid as well with the bomb on the back, and Choffo's timing is going to be everything, Vince. The walk out through main. It's a pixel peak on the corner. Top of his head sticking over the ledge. And Fame gives him a short back and sides. Number 1 there from Norbert as well on the re-peak. Simki down and out, and this is looking brutal for them. 3 versus 5 to secure the 11th.
Oh, they're so loud as well. They're hearing this from a mile off. Norbert and Flip, they know exactly what's coming up, and these angles are tough to contend with. Is it just more of a fake, though? It is. They're throwing out the feed into the oceans and seeing what they can capture. This chain that's now holding into A main and letting the rest of the troops do all the work with the AWP on the close angle. And Brook Monster, we've been here before. It was a 1v4, but there will not be a repeat performance. That would have been a 1v5. Flit shuts him down, and VP trying to just recollect themselves. Oh. I'm not sure you'll be feeling that way about the entire map so far, though. I think it's been a lot more stressful than that. But hey, if you get the W, that's all that counts at the end of the day, and it is the choice of ZT, as you highlighted. Galil in play. Brook Monster with another AWP, and that HE, ooh, that's some spicy damage there. Nearly 50 between 3 players, but they don't care. They push forward, but that could be to their detriment as Electronic locks it down. Norbert keeping himself alive with a Molotov spray is good on top of it, and a smoke to keep himself safe. A sanctuary, a brief reprieve from the T's that come hunting him back down again, and suddenly we're on a 2-on-2.
We still to play for. Game even misses the opening shot. The repeat as well. Vince goes awry, basically nutmegs them with a bullet as it goes right between the legs, and Fame's late lurk round the back is too little, too late. They've already made their exit through stage left. They barrel their way down towards the beach, but they're going for the big brain maneuver. They're not bailing out on this one and going to A. They just wanted to trick him. It was an elaborate ruse. Now they set their focus back on the B site late in the round, tons of time to play with. The smoke goes down, they can commit to the plant, set up for the late round post plants on this, and it's all on Fame. A 1v2. If he picks this up, they can still take it in regulation here, 13-10. If not, we run it back and Zero Tenacity take 11 and look to try and force us to OT in the following round.
Oh, this angle's going to be so grim on this left-hand side. Does he check it? Does he check it? He does! He takes a ton of damage, though. 82 HP, and Brook Monster is there. Lands the shot. Secures it. Successful ransack of the site, and we go the distance on map number 1. Now, it could be heartbreak here in the last round. VP still have a pretty solid buy. Yes, James is down to the MP9, but everybody else has their M4s. Lack of kits could be a problem, however, and it could force them into an aggressive play, which they've done. The clean sweep, double frag, but it's Flit that gets put down from Kajoffa. Ends up being a 2-for-2. But there is a fast rotation coming in. Fame's trying to flank and find info as well. Now starting to realize that mid is for the most part clear, so they can feel a little bit more confident in stacking a second player over. But Jane is still watching mid. He's still unsure as to cam presence.
You love to see this though, mate. With Fame set up, knowing that he could have pushed out through A main and then reading it from the previous times he's gone for it, they actually wrap back through T-spawn, not going to cross through mid over the bridge, so they can clear towards carpets and check out if he's here. And then Imania basically being the probing tool. He walks towards mid, looking for the lurk. Fame so heavily focused on the bridge. Could be so awkward with the angle you're working with, though. The back could be exposed on the turn, tries to predict it on the swing, but Brook goes down. Bested by Fame. Information gathered, but a quick swing back in, and Chopo cleans it up, lopping the head off. Paranoid about the peek towards Con. If they swing on Dark, it's only the MP9. Tries to burn him out of position. Molotov goes off, buying him time to work with Vince. Nemanja even reading it for the rotate back round towards camera side. He sets up, but he's got to find the frags. His play could be the difference between overtime or bust. Kyopo now in the 1v2. 14 seconds. Flashes off the wall. They're going to double up on the pushback. HE to try and slow them down. Tagging's good. Electronic low. 6 seconds on the tick. The spray goes wrong. Jane withstands, and VP take it. All it takes is one loss in a series and you're out. There's no second chances, there's no safety nets. It is absolutely brutal. And it commands your best Counter-Strike. If you're struggling, you're not going to get another chance to redeem your mistakes. For Zero Tenacity winning on Dust 2 and pushing it to Inferno, that's the only possibility they have of staying alive here. Or you could be out on your first day of play. Exchange of damage between Electronic and AVN towards mid. VP setting themselves up for the split mid to B hit. Let's see if the CTs can defend.
So far, it's not looking good, but maybe AVN can hold the line before he gets blocked out. Kajoffa now stood at the back. Box is trying to do what he can, but he's still alive somehow, but not for much longer. Fame puts an end to his kill streak or his endeavors. And now it's all on Kajoffa, and it's going to be the same result from the side. VP this time claimed the first blood.
The two-pronged attack, short and long, towards the A site being the call you want to go for. Smoke over to block off the cross on the run out. Jane wants to line up for the Molotov as well, force Brook Monster out of position as that one will nade on over. But time's going to be the problem. 32 seconds. So if they run into delays, this is where it could get a bit risky for them. Simki takes the first head off. You've got Chopo blocking out the peak from long as well. So if Brookmonster does damage here, Vince, and at the timeline, this could still be a good round for them. He pepper sprays them, but this draws the attention of Chopo, and Norbert backstabs.
Oh man, he did so much damage. Fame down to 1, Jane down to 44 behind him. The thing is, you may get completely mind screwed a little bit from the statistics coming into Dust 2, because when you look at it on paper, it looks pretty solid. Like the prospect of Zero Tenacity, it's like, well, they've played more maps and they have a higher win percentage. But of course, that's not taking into account that VP have played some of the best teams on the planet, the Spirits and Vitalities and G2s on Dust 2. It's only top tier opposition on Dust 2.
So it's not as easy to draw a contrast between the two. Oh, mate, that's filth. You would be fuming. Jame on the drop down, using his teammate as a stool to try and take the fight. And he didn't expect the hitting scout. Brookmonster hitting him with a Shaolin style. That was beautiful, mate. We've just entered the 36 chambers of death, Vince.
And Simkit, he's getting aggressive through on long side. They've actually bypassed any of the T's. They have no idea about this. And this is a lot of intel that's passing itself across. Catches one player in transition, and that's going to put more pressure on the remainder of VP. Throwing in their Molotovs, but they know they have to deal with this scout. Going to allow him to burn in the meanwhile. The 2 players have been tagged. Fame takes one of those stray scout shots, and a perfectly timed flashbang should have yielded some results, but instead they're going to survive a little bit longer. Now the Deagle's coming in, and Norbert on his 17 HP, in a 1-on-2 with 30 seconds, has no real hope of clutching this. I would imagine it's going to be a save. He knows as soon as he comes out into the open, he's a dead man.
It's balmy to me that it felt like Electronic was basically just ruining them. Spray after spray, perfect transfers, lining up to run away with the round, basically put it in his backpack and walk off with it. And then Simki, the unexpected man, pulls up with the Deagle, hits some filthy shots on the hand cannon and ruins them. You talk about despicable shots, though. Yeah, a replay so nice. Production played it twice. Brookmonster, look at the frustration he's put on the face of Jane with that one, bud. That's crazy. That sequence at the end there, though, dude, from Simki, like, that's such a nice collection of kills. Timing's going to be brutal, dudes. I mean, the smoke's going to fade. Molotov's going to burn further back. Actually gets a perfect tag on 2 of them. So that incendiary ruined them. It only lasts for about 3.5 seconds here, so it's gone before it can do too much more damage. But it's up to the actual frags. Nemanja on the back of the bomb site, good for another headshot, Vince, but 8 seconds, they've got to get the bomb down, and a bullet through the door slows him down on a push. The tagging stops Norbert from getting to the site as quick as he wanted to, but he still gets the bomb down.
Norbert low HP again. He's the player that's kind of being dangled on the end of the rod right now, just below window. Flip with the off angle, hoping to catch one of these stray CTs, which will be Kajoffa. That barrel of the gun is going to come around the corner, but he whiffs his spray. Now it's down to Electronic, who's got one already. Needs to get this kill quick. He's living on borrowed time, and Kajoffa will collect. Executing him with the assassination, and Zero Tenacity will have that defuse. So much of that came down to Flit, though, Jackie. If he wins out against Kajoffa, the round is over.
Go for the run boost again, though. Let's see if it works this time.
If at first don't succeed, try again. No one's there, but they are going to find Simki in the CT spawn. A nice flick from Brookmonster. Realistically, they just want to get the plant down if possible. And Fame has left for the parting gift of a couple Deagle headshots. Hold the boat for a second. Oh, that shot is disgusting onto Nemanja. The flick across just nails him. And so they get the post plant and 3 kills on top of it, down to Fame's brilliance.
Oh, mate, this game's starting to spice up, Vince. If anything, I think maybe Anubis was more of an appetizer, which is kind of contrasting to stay with how many rounds we saw. But the Deagles are hitting, the scout shots are coming out. Yeah, we're getting some crazy plays on this one. And we're only a few rounds in as well. If you just joined us here at the Showdown for day 2, Dust 2 is delivering.
That is the smile of a man that knows he nearly just pulled off a miracle play. That's a wry smile, you know. He's happy, but at the same time, he's sad.
Oh, mate. Oh, Brook Monster. A little known fact about him, Vince. He actually did used to be a hairdresser. The barber here coming out to take the top off. That's filthy. Shaves his way through Flit. So again, an opening pick for Zero Tenacity off the back of Brook. Obviously, this is the dream scenario really as well. As Vito goes, you have two maps where the AWP on CT side can be so impactful. And that's where he lives his movie. Highlight real plays. Nemanja, unfortunately, won't be alive and kicking to deliver much more on this one, though. So 4 versus 4. T-side towards top mid. Electronic barely dodging the bullets as he dives back towards the palm tree and links up with the rest of the team. James recovered the AWP. 30 HP to his name. They're going to bail out on the play towards the A side or top mid and instead go for a late B hit. Big problem is, though, AVN, he's already walked up, Vince.
I've seen this angle before. It's where Flit met his nightmare, but AVN, oh, he bites off more than he can chew and he chokes on it. Norbert punishes that over-aggression. And now it's down to Brook Monster. Target-rich environment, shoots down the middle of them. Molotov's off as well. He's burning, flashes, and just fully dissipates, evaporates into the Molotov. 2 kills back-to-back. We'll see VP with a successful post-plant. And I don't know if Kajofo and Simki want to go for this. I think they just want to hold on to the AWP. Nice shot onto Electronic, who was trying to deny that from being a possibility, knowing the importance of this weapon.
Still, for Zero Tenacity, being able to save both this AWP and M4 will bail them out somewhat. Far better than it would have been without these 2 weapons saved. It's not the best situation on the cash for Kajofo, as he's quite low, down to about 2.4k. 5k in the bank, though, on the other side of things. That first pick from Brook made the world of difference. It is a bit of a cheeky off angle. If they don't clear it, especially as they're coming out over the top of the smoke when that one fades, it's kind of a one and done angle. It's going to be hard for him to get too much extra from it. Just depends if Norbert's looking for the pre-aim. If you don't expect it, it can be hellish to clear. He's good for 1. Pepper sprays the others at least to do a little bit of damage back onto Jane, dropping him half HP. They do find a pickup. Just under a minute on the clock. They've got nades still for the walk-up, Vince. Defensive utility to smoke the cross. They've got the aggro util as well for the short bombardment, especially with the backstab of Flit lurking on mid. It just depends if AVN can sniff him out here.
Oh, this trade is so huge again. Flit should have him dead to rights. Spidey sense was tingling. No opportunity to pivot upwards and deal with the verticality. Simka with a death from above. Molotov, though, is going to keep the 2 CTs straggling away from position, maybe try and push around on the long side where James is laid in wait. Oh, he gets absolutely nailed, eclipsed by Simki, and that's going to put a lot more pressure now on VP. It should have been a gimme. Instead, it's Electronic that has to try and weather the storm, alongside Fame, who's had a fantastic series thus far. Now, between the 2 of them, we think they've got more than enough firepower to deal with this. Nemanja takes the shot. It's 2 AWPs on the retake, though. It was going to be a difficult proposition, and Brook Monster tried to line the shot up, but Fame will deny him. Nemanja is faking as if he's actually pulled the plug and ran away. It was a nice idea. You could see the cogs turning in his head, but his aim let him down.
Zero Tenacity, you got to squeeze a bit more out of this one. Brook Monster, signature weapon in his hands, though. He's had some monstrous plays. Let's see if he can be an online-able in a round like this then. Scoped in, waiting for the push-up short. He's got back up round towards the site. Nice micro adjustment. Even blind, he strikes against Flit.
They've made it work time after time on Anubis and also here on Dust 2 on this B side of the map. And again, it does seem like they found that little gap, that chink in the armor that they're trying to exploit and expunge. As AVN now in a different angle. At the back boxes, joined by one of his teammates as the smoke's about to blot out the sun. They got flashes, they got Molotovs, they got everything they could possibly want. It's about to get too hot to handle here as AVN comes out, and he does at least yield the 1 kill, but that may not be good enough. 15 seconds, they still need to deal with Nemanja's positioning, and the bomb needs to transfer itself into the site. It's Norbert on low HP, and Nemanja puts him down. Zero Tenacity get around on the CT side, but more importantly, they start to hold the B site successfully. As Simki's coming out, he is the player on form right now with 13 kills. Up into that last round, he had the rest of his team covered by himself, but it's all a ruse, it's all misdirection. Smoke and mirrors as Norbert and Flit will explode out onto the site, looking to raid it and ravage. this B side of the map, and so far so good. Kajofo's going to try and deny the bomb plant, but nothing is forthcoming, and if he overextends, he should be shut down. Just snatches the life of Fame before anyone's able to pull the trigger. And now the CT is starting to arrive, a 3-on-3 retake.
How good's your retakes right now, Zero Tenacity? What's the form looking like? Let's find out. A bit of a test on this one. The pre-fire peek around the back of the box. Bullets don't deliver. But Norbert baits them in. Kyofo with his second of the round so far, but now it's a 1v2. Trying to peek on the top of the bonnet. Smooth moves, but not enough. Split will find him with a Glock. And VP withstand once again. Kyofo would be first point of contact. He's got the MP9 in his hands and a smoke to attempt to delay. That's one of the two pieces of utility thrown out. Both of them now gone. You smoked either side of the maps. 20 seconds being burnt off the clock here. Kyofo just hoping that he can hold this if they come running on through. A staggered push would do wonders for him, and that's how they play it, Vince. They give him an opportunity with no room for trades. They walk in one by one and get blindsided by the MP9. Brook Monster gets the info towards mid and calls for the backup as well. Flit and Fame, they could be murdered here on the backstab from AVN. Walking down through lower. He could be the backstab that finishes it. As Simki takes the front. Flit on the reload, walks into the crosshair, and Zero Tenacity get 5 on the half.
And this pistol could quickly equalize things nicely as they try and pick up the pace just a little bit. They got 2 players, though, watching long and mid respectively as they come down on the lower side. So see if VP are capable of gathering this one, but Electronic actually goes looking with the Julies, finds a bit of information, and importantly, the HE comes in. Oh, it absolutely wrecks 3 of them. Down to low HP, and Electronic now can try and clean up. Gets the 1, but information has been gathered.
Nemanja with a P250. Oh. The taps round the corner just as he catches sight of Norbert. But it's not going to be enough to pick that frag up. So still a 4 versus 4. He stays, though. Being a seeded out in their minds, they jiggle on the corner to give him some information and keep him around as well. But do they know about the walk up on short? 3 players coming up together. Zero Tenacity making their move out towards the A site now. Jane, dink in the side of the head. 15 HP is all that's left. And Jane finally falls flat on his face. Brook Monster with the big moves, but Fame one-ups him. Fame, good for 2 now. The silent assassin. Hitting him like a hitman and getting the reload off as well. Wants to grab this one off the skin of his own back, and he calls for the rotate in. Flit looks for the assist, and they are trapped on the site. Nemanja flicks back. Flit now down in the dirt. All on Fame to clutch. They look to overwhelm, and they do just that.
Oh, that pack mentality you see from Zero Tenacity. Everyone playing off each other.
And knows there's a player up towards T-spawn side, with Nemanja being the man that's just thrown it. 2 players pushing for the info round on short as well. If the scout can take the head, this could get pretty dire for ZT early in the 15th.
Nemanja's braving the smoke, though. That could have backfired horrifically, and it still will. Electronic from above just snatches the life out of him. That's an audacious peek. If you've got a player at top middle, Electronic just gets clotheslined from the side angle. Norbert, speculative shots through the smoke, but nothing really landing. And now nades being tossed back and forth, but the bulk of the T's have managed to traverse their way across. They still need to get that bomb up there, though. It's now just been picked up. And while the smoke clears, Flit is going to dust off the cobwebs. Simka takes the shot. The Joffa out into the open, but he needs to be dodging bullets at this point. They have no smoke for the cross either. It's going to be really hard to get these players across a scene. There's 4 players down in CT side for VP. It's a shooting gallery, and Norbert on the drive-by. 15 HP to his name. Make sure that VP get it done with not a single player being dealt with in the process.
Let's see if they can have some competitive rounds here now on the actual buys then, Vince. Obviously, it was pistols and unfair rounds really in terms of the buy of what VP could sustain, but what have they got for us on full rifle rounds?
Ollie will force Jame out of position, but there is a parting gift for that HE. Oh, that's nearly 100 damage between 3 players. $300 well spent. And Jane getting the better of Brook Monster, whose woes continue. Just the 6 kills picked up. in this entire map, a map that typically lends itself to the AWPers. We were discussing this as a potential narrative coming into the game, that Jame was on the receiving end more often than not on Anubis. But that's not the case here. And Norbert now decides that the flank is perfectly timed, pushes in, finds the information, and the kill is forthcoming. Putting a lot more pressure now on the T's, who all clumped together in the tunnels with only 20 seconds left on the clock. They've got to hit the go button. They've got to get rapid and in the face. Make this savage, but instead it's a beatdown. And VP hit double digits first.
Yeah, it's brutal as well, of course, because we were basically one round away from a maybe different outcome back on Anubis. Here on Dust 2, though, you're getting reality checked. Long has been a constant point of contact for them. But Monster goes for the anti-flash walkout, looking straight down on the ground and absolutely butchering them. The butcher knife pulled out as he slices his way in, and they have made an incision towards Long. Now, problem is, Vince, quick heads-up maneuver from VP. You get a backstab on the push-up towards T-spawn. Flit has already cut off their rotate. They wanted to bail out after the initial rotate from the CTs, but they find him. Kyofo shuts down Flit, and this is looking like it could be an 8th round on the board. Nemanja, oh, hello. I mean, he reacts eventually and finds that one.
Oof. That's the kind of round, if you're VP, you want to forget real quick.
They block off the walk up on short, but Electronic wants to get close behind it. He's pushed down mid a few times from this, Vince. Is he actually going to go for the walk through? It looks like he's thinking about it. Shrouds himself out through the smoke, on the jump up, gets one. Oh, the utility was in the hands of Nemanja, but the pre-fire around the corner at least neutralizes him. Flit loses his face on the fight from AVN, and all the pressure's on Fame.
Oh, but he rises to the occasion for the first. Nemanja gets the timing. He was just trying to look to his left-hand side, and Jame does connect the shot through the doors. Monster taken down to 23, and Nemanja... Did Norbert hear this? I'm pretty sure he did. He's just holding fire, holding position. There's no way that Nemanja ever expects this. Don't do it, Norbert! Oh, the shank! Insult to injury. And now Monster, a lowly 23 HP, has to have eyes in the back of his head, and Jane takes it clean off. VP will have 4 match points.
Oh, that wasn't very nice. Oh, bro. See, if he's done him like that, he's hurt him on the walk up the upper, posted up and pulled out the blade. Absolutely shanked him. I can't believe that, mate. I did not expect the appearance from Gordon Ramsay at the showdown. Oh, no, not the replay.
Yeah. He had no idea. Oh, yeah, he got a jump scare.
Electronic couldn't believe his eyes. He zoomed in more and got so excited. The double zoom on that, it's like an AWP on the camera. All right, 12-8, Vince. That's got to be a soul-crushing round to lose, but I don't know mentally how you reset coming into the 21st now.
Mate, you could honestly play some Halloween music over there, because Mike Myers would have been proud of that kill. You could just loop that over with the reaction and everything, and it would work perfectly. Jame, in the meanwhile, flicks across, but misses his opportunity. First frag goes in favor of VP. Oh, and it's one of the heavy hitters, one of the main men. Oh, he's dropped the bomb. Oh, and the man, he's had a nightmare.
Oh, what is happening? It's all going wrong, Vince. Norbert adds insult to injury as he cuts his way through Kyofo. Just AVN and Monster left. Zero Tenacity's chance to take a map dwindling away. And the end of their lives in the showdown seems to be coming to a close. Monster pre-scoped. Window of opportunity, the audio cue giving away his angle. Electronic with the pre-fire finds the headshot. Bites back. Molotov in his hands, dives out, but Fame finds it. 13-8 in the space of 2 maps. VP take it, and James done with this. They find their way through.